Hello. Hi. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Julian Stadon and I'm the founder director of TeleAgriCulture. So in this short presentation, I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of our quite recent history. We've evolved shortly before COVID, and it was supposed to be a part-time non-for-profit that I started that turned into an organisation that's kind of taken over most of my time now, actually. So I'm just going to switch over to a video, which hopefully is silent. Yay. Yeah. Right. Yeah, cool. Okay, so TeleAgriCulture is a community platform for artists, designers, agriculturalists, hobbyists, providing a crowd data exchange network for data, information, stories, art and innovation. Basically, we build a range of open source digital sensing kits that are offered with tutorials, an app, an open server, and a community, so things like tutorials and other projects, etc. And it's designed for all different kinds of small to large scale agricultural scenarios, be they at home, hydroponic, aquaponic, soil-based, large farms, etc. And the idea is, as cheesy as it sounds, that we're trying to put the culture back in agriculture. Now, where I live in Austria, this is quite funny because the German word for agriculture is Landwirtschaft, which basically talks about land economy. And a lot of my thinking about this project of being a non-for-profit and about trying to reduce costs and reduce carbon footprints was one of the founding kind of foundations of this organisation. So we started in 2019 and have, like I said, been going blazing since then. And basically the goal is to continue the development of the community, expand the community. We've recently just got a good amount of funding, which is great after 3 years of operations, and now internationalise the project. So again, the goal is to develop artistic strategies for augmenting ecologies, interfacing this really importantly with the public through not only things such as simplified methodologies for growing your own food, but also through community-based approaches for that. To give it a bit of a conceptual framework, due to the effects of the Anthropocene, agriculture is going through a huge transitional period, also through the technicisation of it, and the bioinformatics side of it as well. And this is matched probably only previously by the agrarian industrial revolutions. So as we crash into the post-Anthropocenic era, environmental considerations and public health and well-being are often in conflict with our need to supply food to an exponentially rising global population, also in terms of us being more aware of these things. And of course, also fitting this into current supply chain models, agribusiness methods and profitability needs. So like I said, it's this kind of Landwirtschaft, this land economy versus land culture. Due to this, ethical concerns in relation to health and sustainability are often not discussed to a suitable level of detail with catastrophic effect in a public realm. So outside of these bubbles of kind of, conferences like this and ecological conferences, generally in the public it's difficult to engage. And so the idea of this is that through, while in this midst of this kind of global turn, we're trying to provide a very simplistic interface on a number of different platforms and levels that then facilitates public to get engaged, but also facilitates artists and creatives to engage more in this. So it's embedded within digital communities to increase localized food supply, and there's a number of different ways in which we do this. So okay. So this is our current ongoing team. Like I said, we're a non-for-profit. In 3 years, we've had about 20 or 30 different volunteers work for us across the time. Some people, myself and Danny have been here the whole time. Really funny, Danny actually was here in Barcelona to visit his new niece yesterday, so I randomly saw him for the first time in real life for 8 years, and we've been running this project together for 3, so that's quite nice. There's a few people here from V2 because one of the first places I developed this project was at V2 in Rotterdam. I'm going to talk more about that later. So, like I said, through these objectives that I'm talking about, through these kind of parameters, what we're trying to do is create a range of scenarios that, while discrete in their operations, that they function as a community. So the idea is that people can create their own kind of little pockets of projects, or what I call like islands of information, to quote this Amin Medosh kind of notion of islands of resistance. And the idea is that then, by creating this kind of thing where we focus on resource-driven circular economies of localized production and distribution, by embedding that within technological arts and biological arts, we can have more of a public outlay into these things. Also, of course, by making it open source. So this is the basic kind of features of what we do. Like I said, we have a range of different sensor kits which are completely modifiable according to your price range. If anyone's interested, you can just contact me about them. We're growing them quite a lot. The network has grown this year to 6 new countries. We'll see it on a map. But the idea is that basically you get a sensor kit, it connects to a server, you can access everyone else's data, your data is as private as you want it to be, and then you can then very easily do your farming processes through the application. It's a React.js app. You can then also add to the app. It's all on a Git repository. There's a range of different projects, previous and present, that link into that. And then there's a whole range of different use cases that you can have for that. So a little history. We were first conceived at the MIT Bio Community, Global Community Bio Summit in 2018. It was first a research and development project at Cultivation in Charleroi in Algarve. This then went to V2 for a summer residency for, I don't remember how long, but it was significant, where we developed these kind of initial systems. So this is what it looks like now. You've all seen what electronics looks like. But I want to talk more about the locations and the artworks. I forgot to do my stopwatch, so I have no idea how long I've taken yet. 7, good, okay. Okay, so like I said, we started in a few different places, but for our current project, which is a push into, it's a project called Island of the Day Before, which I have a panel of at 3 in the main theatre. I'm like an advert right now. Sorry, but basically that's a project about fluvial ecologies and microbial methodologies of interfacing ecologies to the public. So we are based in Linz, where I am. I have several sites in Linz, and we've spread around. So one of the first places was here, V2 in Rotterdam in 2019, and I'm currently talking with one of the project managers, Boris, about doing, and a few other guys about doing this again this year. Cultivation, like I said, we're also starting a new one this year. The main original site was here, Dreihof, which is a cultiverein. It's in English, a cultural association at the intersection of farming, living, and culture. So this was our original site in this kind of place. There's one at the Eleonora, which is run by the Dalnautics. If you've ever been to, I don't know if you guys know Stadwerkstatt. It's been around as long as I was Electronica and V2. They're all 40 years old. But this is a boat facilitated by them where we have a kit. We just last year sent a kit to Guadalajara through Jorge Ramirez and Anamonal, where they have a lot of issues with drought. So one of the things I didn't mention was we like to use locations that have difficult use cases, because then it's really pushing the ecological aspects to the art that's produced with the kits. Food Forest Studio at Colgate University in upstate New York. I just installed this last month. Also with the University of Buffalo. Some of you may know the Coalesce Center for Biological Art. We're starting a project, a 2-year project with 4 universities, including them, this September. So that's the kit in the lab, and then there's a kit in Lake Erie. I'm going straight after I see it to Pingling in northern northern Taiwan, working with Dimension Plus, where we'll be installing a kit there that's a permanent kit. This is in my home/studio in Linz, in an Innenhof, like in a courtyard of a communal housing place that I live and where my studio is. So this, as you can see, it's like a mini kit. Some are large, some are etc. And the really cool news is I'm setting a kit up on Sealand, which some of you may know is a micronation off the coast of England. I was so excited that I made a T-shirt to celebrate because I was like, this is really cool. You pay to become a citizen of Sealand, and I did all that kind of like bullshit. And then I was asking him for several years to go and visit, and they never let you. And then I finally convinced them to put a TeleAgriCulture kit there. But they don't farm anything, so it's kind of like, anyway, moving on. Okay, so I just want to talk about the projects a little bit. I'm at 6 minutes 30, cool. Pardon? Oh, it's finished. Oh, you had 3 minutes left. I thought you meant I had 3 minutes. Okay, I'm just going to go I'll do this in 1 minute. So I've got a lot of projects. From live coding to doing things like desalination biotopes for refugees to building cool kind of things for the app, AR for the app, video tutorials, some of the things. TeleAgriCulture rhizomatic bias was the biggest work. It took place on 3 sites, V2, Ars Electronica and Stabwerkstatt, all in 2019. We won a Vienna Design Week Urban Food Design Prize in 2020. We started a big a tilapia farm during COVID because we thought we might have to start growing our own food. We started doing dinners like Vienna Design Week, etc., etc. Projects like in Bangladesh to stop mosquitoes coming into the windows. Kwai Shan doing stuff with ants. So this is the current site that I'm working on. A few different projects, some TV stuff, some other stuff. So, and also we started doing dinners. So last year we started doing the Riverbank Buffet. I'm next in Taipei. I'm doing a dinner as well because I find that meals with fermented foods is a really nice way of communicating microbes. And then what I do is I kind of do it like a pairing. So you get like a food with a drink and then you get an artwork with that as well. I think it's a nice concept. I see I should do it. Anyway, so these are some of the projects from that. This is a swan that tweets the government of Linz every time a boat goes too fast and causes waves because it kills swan nests. There's a lot of different projects we've been doing. More to come, like we're doing stuff with chili tastings. We started an open source chili sauce sharing network called Open Source Wiki. Anyway, so I think that's kind of a bit of an overview of what we've been doing.